Shall we start, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, Kamalendra, sir. So, sir, my first question is, so first of all, can you please describe yourself, like, what is your business and how you are doing?
Yeah. So my business is an information-based business, right? It is in the services domain. So I generally take CAT, GMAT, GRE coachings, and the interview coachings, right? So that defines my work, right? Other than that, if you may have other questions, right? Let us move forward.
Yes, sir. So, for example, how you like which task do you find most daunting in your work?
Hmm. The most
And
daunting part is thinking about the new products that you can introduce in the market, right?
so, for
Okay.
example, there are
For
various coaching
example,
centers.
I would talk about the various phases of a field, right? First, it was a blue market, right? A blue sea market where the opportunities were there with lesser amount of hard work, right? Okay. But now the efficiency with which we can work and generate revenues is decreasing, right? So the daunting work right now is making the packages and showing the customers that they can, or the students or the aspirants, that they can be okay dependent on you. So the change of market scenario into the red sea market, right? And the cost of operations has taken a toll on the business, right?
Yes, sir.
So introducing new, I mean, repackaging or rebranding yourself is the most daunting task right now. Okay. Other than that, you need to also think about your content, right? Whether it is helping the students or in what scenario it is helping the students. Okay. And you have to show them that they are getting some value in front of you, right? The other
Okay.
thing is that you have to know the exact pricing for yourself, right? If you place yourself too high, if you place yourself too low, you won't be getting anything, right? Other than that, you have to endure the new services that you would be adding in the same cost, right? Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, I want to clear that if there is any question that you find hesitant or reluctant to answer, you can deny that. So my next question is like how you decide on pricing, like how much to price.
So pricing is decided on the basis of how many customers you have, or the students or the aspirants you have, right? Okay. The pricing would be, let us say, if you are not earning anything, right? So pricing should be a sweet spot based on what your competitors are doing, okay, and which segment is open, right? And whether that segment can be projected, okay, or that can be tapped according to your abilities, right? So you have to test and try, right? Most of the times the empty space between different products works, right? Because there would be already people present in that segment, right? For example,
Ji.
you can see that Mokobara and all these new services which provide premium segment services, right, are working right now. But some people tried that 10 years before also. So it is also the timing that would work in other businesses. But yeah, in service industry, right, which is based on an exam, you would always have some segment, okay, in which you can look forward.
Yes, thank you, sir. So now I want to ask like on a very general note, sir, why you decided to be an entrepreneur and why not see for any job or any other thing?
Okay. See, the thing is that the job scenario is something of a sort of a binding agreement, right? So those who are ready to toil for hours, right? And give those 4 to 5 years at first in thinking about the business, in thinking about their revenue models 24 into 7, right? Having no holidays and all, right? They would get their rewards afterwards, right? But entrepreneurship comes with a certain baggage, right? For example, certain times I had to pay my pay my employees or my partners more than I was earning, right? So
Yeah.
these things are your own call, right? In which you have to decide whether if you fail, right, where you would be, okay, and if you pass, where you would be. But you should be okay with the failure aspects, okay? Otherwise, it would be a downhill journey for you.
So on this note, so how do you handle failure or setback in in your business? And
Failure.
is there any recent setback that you faced in this year and how you overcome?
Yeah, so there have been many setbacks, right? Uh, I approached a director in person, okay, and I tried to rebrand the uh, personal interview course, right? That was the rebranding to a premium segment product, right?
Okay.
If you are giving access to such a person who has so many connections in the industry, right? That would have been a long term uh, win-win situation for the director also, right? Because he is working in his own startup, he would have got funds, right? And the students also, because he could have pulled the strings for them, right? For the jobs and all, right? Mentoring can be used as a stepping stone, okay, to your future endeavors, right? Okay, so we tried to do that, but yeah, that failed. Why? Because I was trying to make 100% jump in the fee structure, right?
Yeah.
And in any situation, generally the companies rebrand by launching a new product altogether, right? So what did I do? I made a mistake of launching the other product in the same zone, right, with the same name and with the same branding. That was a setback for me, right, in this year. Other than that, there are people from premium institutions who are coming as competitors, right? Although they are not providing much value, okay, as far as the Reddit and all reviews are considered, right? The pull of the marketing is too much,
Yeah.
right? So there also I have to rebrand, I have to collaborate with certain people, okay. I'm looking forward for them to come up, right? But there are challenges to work with these people also, okay. As you are a management student, you might be knowing that it is difficult to bring different people into the same room, right, and then get the same outcome from them with the equivalent efficiency. Another question that was there, right, I tried to bring in some people from MDI, IIM Bangalore and all, right? So the problem with that was the viewpoint is not same, right? The lack of sales ability and the on ground business skills is one of the major deficiency I am seeing in the employees I'm seeking these days.
Okay. So, sir, what's the one thing you wish that you would have known before starting your own business?
Okay, I think I should have known that you need to diversify your business.
But you are already diversifying your business. For example, you are giving coaching for CAT, GMAT, GRE, and also
The
you are now trying to give coaching for the interview also.
the diversification came after 4 years of work, right,
Yeah.
and heavy toiling. So that is a back-breaking process, right? Diversification should have come earlier. Then I would have been at a better position by now. But I think learning comes by being in the ground.
But sir, don't you think that if you started much focus on giving much focus on the diversification part on the earlier stages, you will not be able to came at this position now? Because in the early stages, it's a very crucial time. You should focus on at least one product and give your 100% on that. And
Hmm.
if you are trying to being the jack of all trade, then it's might not be possible.
Hmm.
So what's your thought on that?
The thing is that there are many businesses, right? Some businesses need 100% of your time, right? Some businesses do not need 100% of your time and are of cyclic nature and seasonal nature, right? Cat coaching is a seasonal nature business because why is it a seasonal nature? Because there are certain parts of the year in which you would have more work, right? Such as sales, okay, updating your website and all, right? In the other parts, you have your material at place, right? Okay, so you need to reiterate that material, work on it for some hours, right? Not the whole hours, and the rest of the hours go unproductive, right? In that unproductive hours, you can take up new projects. For example, you would have 5 to 6 years, 5 to 6 hours in a day in 6 months, right? For 6 months, I mean that is
Yes.
half the year. Now the cycles of GMAT, okay, runs even after cat, right? And the most busy days of cats are last 2 months or last 2.5 months,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so the cyclic nature of the business, okay, and the field that you are going to, that matters a lot. If I talk about, let us say, services business, that is aviation and something, right? Or banking goes on for altogether throughout the year. Now they would not have the time, okay, but since I am seeing lack of sales, okay, less sales in more efforts, so in that period of time it is more efficient to move towards other products, okay, and keep someone to take care of, okay, okay, or to automate the other product.
And sir, while hiring new team members,
Hmm.
what qualities do you generally see look up into them, and how do you foster a positive work culture environment in your company?
Hmm. The fostering of positive work culture is, see, let's take this one on one, right? I would talk about the fostering of uh, the positive work environment, right? There have been faculties who have not been good with the students, right? Then I had to talk with the faculty also, right? Tell them the overall structure of the organization and how not giving a positive feedback or a positive return to the students might affect their work in the long term, right? I would give an example of Byju's, right? It didn't work for Byju's because the culture was not good,
जी.
allegedly, right? Okay, I mean, who are we to judge them? Now, that is the thing that you have to have a top down order, right? You have to make things good from the perspective of the CEO, right? And the long term vision, right? As we had seen in decision making, right? You might have given the decision making paper, right? As we have seen in decision making, that principles have to be set by the top order, right? So that is how I maintain the order, right? If any complaints come to me, I think about that. I seek answers from people, right? That too in a positive manner. Okay. So if my approach, okay, is of appreciative nature, the other's approach would also change. I believe that, right? If someone doesn't toe the line, then he has to leave, right? Okay. Now the second question was, how am I? What qualities am I looking in people, right? Okay. Now the qualities are on ground effectiveness, right? On ground effectiveness. For example, I was taking an interview of an I am girl, right? Okay, she was from the lower and I am so. Uh, I asked her about finding products around her, right? It was an interview, on the spot round interview kind of thing, right? So the answers that I got were kind of bookish, right? The person who has worked on the ground, right? Let us say Sushant from IIM Amritsar has worked on ground for Johnson and Johnson for 2 years, right? Now, the approach that he gives me, the approach that freshers give me, right, are different. Now, several freshers might be, right? Several freshers, as I have seen my friends, right? As I have seen several freshers, they might be good at that point, right? But the answers that I got from that girl was not good, right? It was all about product place, price and promotion, right? Reiterating the same ideas. So I need to know, if you are talking about the product, how would you think about the product at first? So if anyone answers that basic question, okay, that real world scenario question, then that guy is I mean, is a suitable guy for me, right? If it doesn't suit me, then if it suits me, right, if need be, I keep them on the basis of contract. Okay, so that is an hourly contract.
So, is there any work-life balance as being an entrepreneur?
No.
So, are you happy?
Happiness is a subjective phenomenon, right? Okay, do I get time for uh, my personal life? Yes, to a certain degree, if I want to, right? But I have to manage that, right? Other than that, you have to look for multiple avenues, right? Because first few years you would be in a money crunch, okay, and you would be needing money, right? Now, in Indian scenarios, there are certain things, okay. The challenges are that people, mm, I don't blame students for this, right? I blame coachings for this, because there are so many people who are just not providing the right services, the outcomes that the students need. The students think of the services as something that can be bought for a lower amount. Okay. Now, which problem does it not solve? It doesn't solve the problem of the teacher that is taking, right? I mean, all things need sustainability, right? If sustainability is not part of any business, such as Baidu, right, and other startups which have gone down, right, then that business model is flawed. Now, if that business model is flawed, you need to look at something that is flawed in that system, right? So, what is flawed here is the expectation of the coachings, right? Expectations of the students that, okay, the teacher would be available at a lower cost than what coaching offers, right? They are offering it at a premium price, right? Okay. And the exploitation of the students by the coach, right? I mean, not so good coachings, right, which provide the right outcome.
But sir, I believe that in most of the coaching centers, the economy of scale can be possible. Like if you increase the number of students, then your profit generally starts increasing.
The
So,
profit generally starts increasing, but at what cost? Right, that is the problem. At what cost? If we look at the Western countries, the coaching scenario is quite minimal, right? Why? Because France has a good education system, right? The input is the same, the outcome may depend on the student. Fine. So what we need is not the coaching business, right? What we need is the outcome for the students, right? That should be the first and the foremost thing. Now, we have made an institutionalized thing where 90% of the people who fail pay for the people or pay for the system. Okay, that generates only 10% of the results, right? If looked at in terms of the overall business, that is a failed result, right? Okay, because if we look at the services business of the banks and all, 90% of the customers or 70% at least are happy. Here, 90% are not happy. So this phenomenon is quite, if you look at it in terms of money, right, it is quite lucrative. But if you look at it in terms of efficient business practices, it is not lucrative, right? It is not efficient, right? It is not sustainable without the exam.
So you believe that coaching centers are not sustainable?
Coaching centers are sustainable, right, in India, as far as the exams are going on, right? But they are not ethical, in my opinion.
So if they are not ethical, why are you running one coaching
I am
center?
running an ethical coaching center, right? I provide the the savings in terms of form filling, right? I measured, right, gauged how much they save. They save 6 to 7,000 in form filling, right? Okay, so that is gain for the students, right? Let us say 18,000 minus 7 is 11,000, right?
Ji.
Now 1,000 per month, right? If you work with that, then 11,000 per month for 3 subjects, that is 333 rupees for each subject, right? So if you work with that, you would get the outcomes if you fill enough forms, right? If you diversify your efforts, right? So I have seen that year after year after year, right? So in that scenario, it might be possible to have 50-60% of the results, right? So
Ji.
that is a good result, in my opinion, if we are talking about the human resource development.
So I believe your business is now 5 years old, four to
Yeah.
5 years. Yeah.
Not my business. I had
This.
my run in the industry is 4 to 5 years old, right? The
Yeah.
new business is around 2 years old.
Okay. So, sir, can you please tell us from the start, like how you identify the gap in the market, like there is that you feel that now is the need for this product in the market, and how you made yourself comfortable, like I am the right person fit for this job, that I will be able to fill this gap in the market,
Okay.
and which like how you started from your initially, because I believe that students find it really hard to trust on someone who is not so well reputed in the business. So how you try to convince the early students, and how it's going on after that?
Okay. So to add to the last question, right? The one you asked,
Yes, sir.
right? There is another thing that I'm noticing without mentoring. If I talk about the large scale online firms, right? Okay. Uh, in US terms, it is known as an education company, right? A coaching is known as an education company. If we talk about an education company, right? The other phenomenon that I noticed was people are not filling the forms. Okay, for example, if I had 97.8 percentile jam, right, he could have converted MDI, but he didn't fill the form of MDI, right? I have a student, girl student, who has no mother, right, and her father has moved on to another woman, right? So in that scenario, they are asking her to skip her MBA, right, not pursue her MBA dreams. So in that scenario, she has not filled any form, right? But she has come to me, and I have given her the pro bono free services, right? So that she can fill the IIT forms and have the loans also. Because without the guarantor, she won't be having the 20 lakhs loan, right?
Yeah.
So in these scenarios, also this service works really fantastically well. Okay. Now the model is of having small number of students and a premium segment, right? From this year, right? So that
Ji.
I would be able to provide end-to-end services to these people, end-to-end guidance to these people, right? The next question, the question that you asked right now, Hannah, could you please repeat the last question?
So, my question was like how you find the need in the market, and how you
Mm-hmm.
so that you are the right fit for this.
Great. Yeah. So the thing is that एक मिनट रुकना, just a minute. Yeah, I am just stopping the recording.